Hello, everyone, friends, family, visitors. How are all of you? So good to see you. Hey, Becky. Hi, Ginger Girl's mom. Hello, Beth Leg. Hello, Brenda Sue. Alicia, we have a great show tonight. Some things I've been thinking about as far as what are the stakes? They must be very high. And we're going to talk about that and where my mind's been going. Hi, NJ's. Hi, Jen in Georgia. YouTuber, busy mama. I'm on earlier today, raced home. Hi, Town Chat Cafe. Hope this time works for you all. Panda Bear's mom. Hello, Raymond. How are you? Hi, Charlene. Hi, Chicken Lady. Yes, grab a drink, get your snacks. We're going to have a good show tonight. I have quite a bit to talk about as far as the stakes being so high in observations and analysis. So we'll go probably quite a while till that's over. And if you want a bonus hour, we have a goal today. And I've got it posted up there, and I'm working towards a bonus hour. And the bonus, the bonus hour will be the interview with PI Heather and the P-Foots, because that as well is very telling if you think about custody and things like that, and that a judge is watching. So if you guys want to continue for an extra hour, let's reach our goal tonight. I appreciate all of you being here. All of you. Hi, Maria S. Sorry, Chicken Lady, I was trying to read your message. Thank you. Yes, Jen, I know it's been a rough day, my friend. I sent you a message, and I'm thinking about you. Not about sympathy, my friend, support. And it is a little sympathy, because what you're going through is very difficult. So you just do whatever you need to do today, and know you don't have to be in here, sweetie, but we gotcha. Okay. Hi, butterfly kisses. Hello, show poodles, purple sneakers, truth for us. Hello, hello. Those of you coming in, hello, chit chat. Hello, Elaine. We are going to be working towards a goal tonight, and I see we got one already in there. Got a nice show for you. I'm going to be showing you information on judges making custody decisions, some of the things that they look at, and then also what we've seen, and also talking about a little bit about the motive. Because if the motive is custody of any motive of not wanting Sebastian in the home, meaning it could have been, they wanted him to go away to a school. If that could have been a reason because he wanted custody of Faith and didn't want both of them to live in the home, I am surmising, speculating, sharing my opinion for entertainment purposes only. Please form your own. I am just speculating things I've been thinking of. But if that was a motive, then the stakes must be pretty high, in my opinion, in the search for Sebastian, the obstruction, the misleading, the impeding. Because those, if you look at the scale I've got here, Faith was way up there, up on top. That was so important. Well, now we're seeing what's more important: defending, controlling, threatening, that narrative, getting the billboards down, all the explosions. Don't talk about my truck. Well, as those escalate, chances for custody of Faith diminishes, in my opinion. And we're going to go over the little documentations, and again, the explosions. I know we all don't love to hear them, but we need to, because it proves a case. It proves a point. And if you don't think Nina's recording them and sending them in, I would if I were the mom. And we're also going to listen to a blip of Nina today, of what it's like, what it's been like, what the capabilities are. We're not listening to the whole thing, just a blip, because I think it's really important to figure out, why is acting this way more important than representing yourself as a gentleman that the judge in your custody case would look at and say, he's a stand-up guy. He should have custody too. Or however, instead of suddenly you're no self-control, you're cracking, you're screaming in courthouse parking lots, you're going on panels, you're screaming, you're cussing, you're exploding, you're threatening, you're calling parole officers admittedly, challenging a celebrity dog, the bounty hunter, to come to your door. Very, very aggressive, vulgar too, right? What is it? It's got to be such a high stake that it's higher than getting custody of Faith, in my opinion. We've watched it. I'm not saying anything other people aren't thinking, because many people watching it have said, please God, don't let her go to him. And not because we're mean, but because we care about children. And when you see that behavior, it's terrifying. So I want to say thank you so much to all being here. I hope you had a great day. Lori Wynn, thank you so much for contributing to our goal tonight. I love your picture. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for your sweet donation. NHGG, thank you so much for your sweet super sticker. Appreciate you. And Raymond, we are going to have an extra membership this week. It's going to be one of these days this week, and it is going to be a topic that I want to just discuss with all of you, so do not miss it. We always have a great time at our reunions. They are usually Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, but we will have an extra one this week. Do not miss this one. It's a topic I don't want to discuss out there with everyone, but I think it's important. We need to discuss it, and you are my crew to get it first. So thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me get to the beginning of my notes here. So I do think the stakes are very high. When we went into this, many of us, we always look for a motive, right? Many of us, the motive, because custody kept coming up. Thank you again. By the way, I didn't say please thank Raymond. And thank you, Raymond, for being so kind to growing our membership. We have a good time together. This week, like I said, we're going to have some good conversations that we need to have. So, oh, my dear, sweet Jen, I love you all, and I'm not fragile. I will not break. We know you're not fragile. You are a very strong woman. But remember, no matter how strong we are, we still can hurt, and we just know we're here for you. Okay? Thinking about you on this very tough day. We love you, girl. Thank you so much for your sweet donation. Okie dokes, let's get started. I apologize again for some of the audio that we're going to play tonight, but it proves a point. I know we've heard it before. I'll be playing a little clip from Web Sleuths, from Elevated Truth, and from, where's my third one from? Oh, from Nina, a clip for Nina, but the other third one was, I have 3 audios. It is going to be Elevated Truth, Web Sleuths, and then the recent explosion about the billboards, which came in masked as being upset with another YouTuber, but truly it rolled right into those billboards, in my opinion, being the focus. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to share with you, because when you research custody, a lot of what comes up is the best interests of the child. And I think that's so important here, because we know that there's a custody battle. CP would like custody of his daughter, and she lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with her mother, Nina, and other siblings from Nina's former relationship. We also know Nina spoke out, so we'll listen to a little bit of that. But best interest of the child is very important when someone is seeking custody. That is what the judge looks at. It is a legal standard used to guide decisions about a child's well being, particularly in matters like custody, visitation, and adoption. It emphasizes prioritizing the child's physical, mental, and emotional well being, ensuring they receive adequate care and support to thrive. The standards the standard considers various factors, including the child's age, needs, and wishes, as well as the capabilities and relationships of the parents or caregivers. Now, I find this important because if you're wanting custody of your child, you realize that there is a judge, a custody judge, who is going to hear this. There's, I'm sure, present cases. You know, you have an ex who wants custody as well, who, if you are going on public forums, which is unusual, right? If you have an ex, it's like a nugget if they're going on public forums and not behaving. Because what would you do? I would be recording, sending everything in. So I think it's very important when we all been thinking motive, custody, right? It happens. Is that why they wanted to send him away to a different school? Custody was very important. And we also know custody was very important to Mama Socks. Let's go back to Nina's story. Mama Socks, I think, wanted custody of the child, in my opinion, as well. So right now, his behaviors is also affecting Mama Sock's ability to get custody of her granddaughter out of New Mexico. So Mama Socks, we saw her in court. She's gone. She's much thinner than she was when this began. Someone had said she just wants this to be over with. Well, over with means someone says something, does something, tells what they know, anything that could help, instead of all the conflicting stories. She's gone from a realtor to an office manager at Danny G's construction, second generation construction. Things are getting tough. The walls are closing in. So again, if your motive to remove Sebastian from the home and send him to a school or whatever is because you want custody, you don't want them together, even though they are very close, by the way, the two are very close. You would think if you're going to spend the money on custody, you would present yourself properly, especially if you know there is a missing child in your home. So you have to present yourself very stellar, helpful, properly, stable, all of the above, because that's a factor that doesn't normally come into decisions, is that child missing. With a child missing in a home that wants custody. So again, what do, right? You act like a gentleman, you help, you pitch in, you do everything you can. That would be normal if you know there's another litigating factor involved and you want custody of your child. But again, that is not happening. So in my opinion, I believe the stakes are very high for CP, that he impede, obstruct, mislead, threaten, get people to work against searchers, search parties, advertising, wanting billboards down. The stakes must be very high because indeed, that's the behavior the judge is seeing instead of what you would put forth. So something became more important. He became more desperate over something than wanting custody. That defense of himself and everything that Sebastian deserves, not wanting it for him. Yes, some could say, well, it's just because he hates Sebastian. I think that contributes to it. But I don't think he gave Sebastian enough time a day to put this much energy into hate, yelling, affecting his abilities with his own child, unless it directly benefited him. Let's keep reading. The best interests of the child. He is absolutely not presenting that. Why? Why is he so desperate to do the opposite for custody. What's so high? Guilty knowledge? Is it the CPS stuff coming out? What is it? But it's sure something. And he says, well, I need to protect my wife. If you are protecting your wife, in my opinion, and your wife has a missing child, you are protecting your wife by searching, being a gentleman people can approach, being helpful, doing everything you can. Now, if you are helping your wife in this way, impede, obstruct, then you need both to be brought back in. Because the time has come where we're done turning away from, it's worse than a teacher's pet who can do no wrong. Well, we got this pet. Can't do any wrong in Sumner County. No matter what he does, they don't care. They don't do a darn thing, and he knows it. But the judge in New Mexico is watching. And he still doesn't control himself. Even fights, has an altercation alleged, and I say alleged because I haven't seen the footage, in the courthouse steps. I believe it, though, believe me. So let's keep reading. What stakes, y'all? They are so high that he has screwed up his chance for custody. I mean, in my opinion, possible even visitation. We know he had her last summer, and they weren't even staying at the home. The point of the matter is, has he had her since? The man who sent to a court a year in February or March of 2024, shortly after Sebastian disappeared, that he had been cleared and vetted from the disappearance of his missing child. An absolute bold-faced lie. No one has been. That's a lot. You got a lot of nerve to do that. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. We are talking about what's at stake that makes it so important to act like this publicly for all to see, including a judge, when you wanted custody. So, best interests of the child. The standard prioritizes the child's needs above all else, including the wishes of the parents or other parties involved, according to the National Parents Association. The holistic well-being, it considers the child's physical, emotional, and mental health, as well as their social and educational development. So, if you have a child who has disappeared from your home and you want custody of your own child, you would be presenting a physical, stable, safe place. That's not occurring with the emotional outbursts and the admittance of hitting a child with autism with a belt for forgetting to wear a belt. All of the things above. Comprehensive assessment. The court will consider a wide range of factors when determining the child's best interests, including parental ability. Well, when you've lost one child in your watch, in your home, you would need to step up and show a really stellar environment. Family relationships, the child's own wishes of if their age and maturity, and any history of abuse or neglect. So all of that comes into factor. One of the wives who almost ended up DEAD by abuse with a household tool, HAMMER allegedly, that would be there. The event that Nina shares with baseball bats and the baby being tossed and run over, back over her, all of that is in there. Okay. Family relationships, the screaming, the yelling. My goodness. I mean, the essence, the best interest of the child, standard aims to create an environment where a child can thrive. Now, if you are a judge and you have heard even 1/3 of any of the audios out there, would you think living with CP, in your opinion, in mine, I would not, would be an environment where a child could thrive? One is already not thrive. They had 5 CPS reports, allegedly. an environment where a child can reach their full potential with that kind of screaming. Do you know the nerves, the anxiety? It's triggering to listen to over the internet waves. Imagine being in person. Also, while ensuring their safety and well-being. I don't think that a judge would see that as safe to be around. In my opinion, the parental ability. The court assesses each parent's capacity to provide a stable and nurturing home, meet the child's needs, and maintain a positive relationship with the child. It is all over the internet, the negative relationship he had had with his stepchild. Nina has spoken out with the relationship that he had with her other child that was witnessed. The smack, family relationships. They consider the child's relationships with both parents, siblings, and other extended family members. Well, if you listen on the internet to any of people who worked with TB, Papa Step Socks, they don't speak highly of how he speaks of Sebastian. If you go on Facebook and you listen to the CP's sister, Melissa, at the birthday party, you could see right there her relationship was the way these are family members. The way she treated Sebastian, wouldn't that be a way you'd treat all children? Or did she save that for the step? Saying run over, TB showing up at the door with a baseball bat. That's a family. That's what they'll be looking at. History of abuse, and I say child's wishes. The court ultimately decides what is best for the child. And sometimes it's 14 and up, some states 13 and up, but I'm not an expert. And I hope to goodness that in this case, Faith is to talk to. History of abuse or neglect. Substance abuse by either parent is carefully considered. Well, he speaks of abuse to his stepchild openly. The court assesses the child's overall well-being, including their physical health, mental health, and emotional development. I think any judge who could see no playgrounds, no bikes, no family walks, no interactions, positive toys being thrown away, snakes being given away, a child in underwear given away, he has to wear pull-ups at the house. But yet you're not man enough, in my opinion, to tell the police when we're looking for him, God forbid we find anything of his, but you won't find underwear. You'll find pull-ups because I insist he wear that. If you weren't doing that, if that wasn't being done to humiliate and belittle and bully, then you would have shared it, in my opinion. But you're embarrassed because it wasn't the right reasons. Judges are watching and they're listening. Let's listen to our first audio as to what the judge will hear. And I'm telling you, the stakes are higher to defend, to obstruct, to mislead, to bring the billboards down, to threaten people, to run off the Cajun Navy, to run off Uvalde, to call Nick's parole officer, to threaten Dog the Bounty Hunter. All of the above is more important than behaving properly to get the custody you so said you wanted. In my opinion, allegedly, my thoughts. Then 1 second. There we go. I'm just going to play it off of my video because I had the clip about the truck. I don't have, this is going to be credit to Elevated Truth. It is a video from my channel. So we could just hear the truck clip and don't have to listen to everything. This, by the way, became evidence because someone sent it to the FBI and they gave them an evidence record number. This video.
Now, mind you, it was said that there were only, what, 2 exterior internet sources that came in and out of the area that night. And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his? Electronic.
You think people kidnapped before electronics were around?
Before electronics were around, they didn't have card teams that could come in and figure out what phones were used, what Wi-Fi's were in the area.
Right.
Now, mind you, it was said that there were only, 2 exterior internet sources that came in and out of the area that night. And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
Yeah, that would be a little weird, for sure.
Oh, it got quiet real quick on that one.
I answered.
I don't think I understand what you're. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying. That's why I'm quiet. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
I answered.
I don't think I understand what you're
He's saying supposedly on the night that Sebastian disappeared, they go through and they check like all the Wi-Fi in the area, and there was only 2 Wi-Fi's that came in that area and left that area. Like 2 open networks, 2 traveling Wi-Fi's came in and left.
Okay.
And apparently Chris claims one was his truck.
That night?
They did the search for that night. So.
Why would Chris's truck be there?
I mean,
this is the first time hearing of this, so that's why I'm like, what?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't really comment on it because I don't know anything about it.
Well,
it could have been the 25th through the 26th. I don't know. I mean,
25th through 26th still means that allegedly he wasn't in town.
I mean,
the 26th
he would have been. Right.
Oh, right. The 26th he would have been. But if I'm not mistaken, I think the comment went something like, "Those dumb assholes didn't even know that it was my truck."
That was credit to Elevated Truths panel on Thursday, December 19th. CP jumped on the panel, and here is what he had to say.
I told you that my truck was in that neighborhood the night Sebastian went missing or the night before.
That's not what was said. What was said was, you said that your truck's Wi-Fi was in the cart when the cart team did their thing on the 25th or the 26th. And I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So that would have to been the 26th when I got to my house.
That's what we said.
That's what we said.
That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, I said it has to have been when he was coming home from the work site.
That's what was said.
My truck wasn't in the area, the vicinity. The FBI knows this. So don't speak of my truck being in that vicinity, that area, until the 26th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's what we said.
Well, not the time frame, but...
Not the time frame.
No, the time.
But what we said was that they did it for the 25th and the 26th. So it's just as much likely that it was when he came in after Sebastian went missing.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused, because I was like, what? And then that's why I said it had to have been when he came home.
Well, see, the problem is you get a bunch of people out here. You say one thing, you mean one thing, and this, that, and another, and then it runs wild like a fucking brush fire that goes crazy.
That's true.
And here we are. We're 10 months into this. We got no leads. We got nothing. But yet we got another team over here that's out here just throwing shade left and right and a bunch of crap.
That's what we're talking about. We think it's very dangerous. People are being thrown under the bus, and nobody seems to fucking care.
Who's in the back chat?
But if I'm not mistaken, I think the comment went something like, "Those dumb assholes didn't even know that it was my truck."
Welcome in, everyone. That was from Elevated Truth podcast. Please go over and sub to them. It was from Thursday, December 19th, yesterday. Today is Friday, December 20th. They were discussing this. Heard what he allegedly does not want that on his truck. That would love to hear him speak a tad bit because he does not be able to identify.
It was said that around before electronics were around, they didn't have car teams that could come in and figure out what phones were used, what Wi-Fi's were in the area.
Right.
Now, mind you, it was said that there were only two exterior internet sources that came in and out of the area that night.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
Yeah, that'd be a little weird, for sure.
Oh, it got quiet real quick on that one.
I answered.
I don't think I understand what you're. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying. That's why I'm quiet. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
He's saying on this supposed.
That could be one reason the stakes are so high, right? 2 exterior internet sources in and out of the neighborhood that night, and allegedly CP told Elevated Truth one was his. I'm telling you, the stakes are high. For him to not conduct himself properly for custody. Let's keep going. Sorry, I replayed that again. I just wanted to listen to it again.
On the night that Sebastian disappeared, they go through and they check like all the Wi-Fi in the area, and there was only 2 Wi-Fi's that came in that area and left that area. Like 2 open networks, 2 traveling Wi-Fi's came in and left.
Okay.
And apparently Chris claims one was his truck.
That night? That night?
They did the search for that night. So.
Why would Chris's truck be there?
I mean,
this is the first I'm hearing of this, so that's why I'm like, what?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't really comment on it because I don't know anything about it.
Well,
it could have been the 25th through the 26th. I don't know. I mean,
25th through 26th still means that allegedly he wasn't in town.
I mean,
the 26th
he would have been. Right.
Oh, right. The 26th he would have been. But if I'm not mistaken, I think the comment went something like, "Those dumb assholes didn't even know that it was my truck."
That was credit to Elevated Truth's panel in
neighborhood, the that my truck.
Is what he had to say.
I told you that my truck was in that neighborhood the night Sebastian went missing or the night before.
That's not what was said. What was said was, you said that your truck's Wi-Fi was in the cart when the cart team did their thing on the 25th or the 26th. And I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So that would have to been the 26th when I got to my house.
That's what we said.
That's what we said.
Chris. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, I said it has to have been when he was coming home from the work site.
That's what was said.
My truck wasn't in the area, the vicinity. The FBI knows this. So don't speak of my truck being in that vicinity, that area, until the 26th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's what we said.
Well, not the time frame, but
not the time frame. No, they didn't know the time. But what we said was that they did it for the 25th and the 26th. So it's just as much likely that it was when he came in after Sebastian went missing.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused because I was like, what? And then that's why I said it had to have been when he.
I call malarkey on that. The 2 pings that they are referring to is not pings that they determined, in my opinion, after Sebastian went missing. It was from the 25th to the 26th. And I believe it was during the time frame that Sebastian did go missing, in my opinion. But the fact that CP's telling someone that one of those pings is his, between the 25th and the 26th, the Wi-Fi pings going in and out of the neighborhood. Let's pause for a second. Then he lied. He lied and said he hasn't been in Hendersonville. We know that there was a school meeting, yes, but there's another lie. He said he didn't come home till the 26th, and now it's 1 p.m. Okay? So it doesn't make sense. Why? What is so at stake? And we've got to look at that, because if law enforcement has to be looking at that too. This guy who wants custody, look how he's behaving. He's desperate. He's triggered. What does he know? Allegedly. And this interview goes on to where he really gets into a lot of other stuff, like why isn't Katie screaming from the rooftops? And he goes into that. He gets very upset. All of which now is in the public for Nina to share. So the stakes, I'm telling you, he wanted custody. He wants custody. They want custody of Faith. The stakes must be really high to screw that up with this kind of behavior. Listen to one more trigger warning. Is this a father who is seeking custody, seems stable? Remember, best interest of the child, that the child would grow emotionally, the environment would be positive. Would the judge, if the judge heard this, lean towards CP having custody? And he knows there's a judge listening. So this is so interesting. So again, I ask you all, the stakes are much higher to do this than to behave to get custody. It is very telling. Law enforcement, it's very telling. Let's listen. And I apologize again. I know it's vulgar, it's horrible, but I'm proving a point with it. Okay?
Okay. Are we on the show?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you heard you talking about Brittany J, right?
Yeah.
That bitch couldn't get fucked if she ran through a field of dicks backwards with her ass cheeks spread wide the fuck open. So you can play that shit for that bitch to hear.
Don't worry.
You really want to fucking know. She ain't had her fucking feelings crushed, but I'll do my minimum to fucking destroy her fucking feelings. Because quite honestly, that bitch needs to close her fucking mouth before she can stuff a whole goddamn turkey in it and choke on the fucking chicken leg on the way down. And hell, by doing it, she might actually do something good for her kids and her husband. So fuck that bitch. I'm sitting tired of listening to this fucking bitch run her mouth about me, my wife, my family, and anybody else out there. When that bitch she ain't fucking no angel. She ain't no goddamn perfect person. Fuck her.
I can't argue any of that, but you
And anybody that fucks with her can fuck off too.
I agree.
So sick and tired of listening to this fucking bitch.
Well,
Is this a man who will sing goodnight songs and tuck her in gently, sweetly, and peacefully? I ask you. Let's keep going.
You've officially made my computer stall with the chat going wild.
Sorry, everybody. I apologize, but I'm just sick and tired of listening to this fucking bitch. Yeah, and I've said some shit about her before, and I don't give a fuck if she stood in front of my goddamn face. I'd say it right to her fucking face again.
Me too. With pleasure.
Now, what I will say is instead of her sitting here trying to grift and make money and shit, you should probably learn how to pay your fucking bill like your fucking property tax bill that you still ain't fucking paid. Yeah, you want to go real life? I'll go real life, bitch. I done looked your ass up.
I repeat, this is the stepfather of missing teen Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Sebastian was reported missing February 26, 2025. He was with his mother, who is married to Mr. Chris, this individual who we are listening to.
Well, she says that's okay. So, I mean, just saying, she does say that. When it comes to Queen and her children and me and mine, it's okay.
Well, guess what? I can do it to her kid and the other 3 fucking kids that she ain't got control of. It's like, yeah, bitch, you want to dig into somebody's past, make damn sure that they don't play the game better than you. Make sure that they don't find your fucking exes. They can get the dirt on you, bitch, and can spread it across God knows how far. Sometimes it's best you just shut the fuck up, pray your little prayers, grip your little fucking money, and move the fuck on instead of fuck out of everybody else's business.
I can't argue anything.
Can I get an amen?
There we go.
Amen. Can this bitch shut the fuck up? Hey, I don't know what one day we're gonna hope she does. Oh my God, she's a fake fucking Christian. Oh my God, help my fucking church, fucking psycho bitch.
F the church, he says. He's talking about Brittany J. She allegedly with Brittany J. He's talking about F the church, pretending to be a preacher, a stepfather. That's where he's putting his time. Will a judge look at that as time well spent when you have a missing stepchild? Then he says, you can let that BITCH hear this. So as he knows, the judge is hearing it too. So again, he's desperate, he's cracking, and it's outweighing his ability to behave properly and represent himself for custody. And I'm sorry we're listening to it, but it's so important. Kiki, you're welcome. Why, Kiki, can you do me a favor and just share it to him? You're welcome to, or if you want, I can do it after. Thank you. That's a great advice. And we're not listening to this because we enjoy the language, but it's important when you look at it from a judge and custody point of view and a man who said he wanted custody. Why has this become a higher stake? And I think, in my opinion, the answer is obvious.
Dogs in the background got me.
That's another thing. The dogs reacted. Yet in that house that night, KP said no reaction from the dogs. Well, his screaming like a preacher got the dogs to react. So there must not been a lot of ruckus inside from a stranger or something if dogs weren't barking or neighbors didn't hear dogs barking. I would say it's familiar in someone that didn't scare the dogs with a loud voice like that. I don't know, but the dogs are barking there. Something to think about. I don't know why he'd talk like this. He's desperate. And that is so telling I keep asking myself that same question. Why would he talk like that? Why would he spend so much time on social media? Right? Why would he spend so much time defending, wanting billboards coming down? That's coming up. And I think that's the whole reason, in my opinion, he got on this panel, because it was right after the billboards went up at where he had to pass by him every day, where it says, he cried, you lied, or I cried, you lied. I cried, you lied, to and from Horn Lake, Mississippi, back into Tennessee. Right when those were placed, he shooketh us with this response. And the judge is probably wondering, why do you want the boys' billboards down? I'm looking at them. I don't follow the case. So it says who cried. What it's doing is raising awareness, letting people know he didn't run away, that he was taken. He did vanish. It shouldn't make anyone squirm except for the right people, or the wrong people, if you think about it that way. I agree, Kiki. I mean, I think he has helped Nina and the safety of Nina's sanity of knowing her child's safe by acting this way. Doesn't help Sebastian, but it helps Faith every time he opens his mouth. After this one, I will go through your comments, and then we'll read one more thing on the judge, and then we're going to get to Nina. Nina.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna get hell for this, but I really don't give a fuck either.
Hell from who, though? That's the thing. From who? From who? The green team? The all magnificent at night media? Who fucking cares, man? Fuck y'all. Like, for real, fuck y'all. If y'all were serious, all of us would be sitting in the courtroom instead of just...
Well, guess what? And guess what? You fat ass home motherfucker. Got news for you. I still ain't got my goddamn papers that you're gonna sue me. Still ain't got them.
Hong works for At Night Intelligence Agency. He will also be referring to Dog the Bounty Hunter, who's helping to search for and raise huge awareness and into the disappearance of his stepson, Sebastian. Hong works for At Night, as does Nick, who he will be bringing up. It is an intelligence agency assisting Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, in the search for Sebastian. Dog the Bounty Hunter is also involved. The FBI has a $50,000 reward, and Dog the Bounty Hunter At Night, along with others, have contributed to a reward now that is up to $447,000. But this stepfather does not like them and does not want them allegedly involved. Listen up.
What, dog? Hey, bitch! You a pussy? You said you were kicking in my door. My door still fucking stands and the opportunity's right there. Walk through it, motherfucker.
No, that's... I wish, whenever. It's...
Oh, my God!
It's a fucking joke. You know what I mean?
Thanks for the
Oh, it's a whole damn joke. This dog showed up to go to his son's wedding.
Christian.
And I know the exit he passed. Bitch, you were 15 minutes from my house. You couldn't detour? Shit.
He could have.
No, he wouldn't have.
I'm saying he could have, but...
No, he can't have. This senile old ass can't fucking figure out how to drive. Oh, my God. He's got my address. He knows where to find me.
On Chris rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor.
Look at the rest of these motherfuckers out there. Woo! Enough is enough. Tired of being nice to people. I'm tired of playing by their same bullshit fucking rules. Tired of...
He's referring to At Night, Dog, the people who are searching for Sebastian. some people, allegedly, in our opinion, are not searching.
But that's the thing, they don't have the same rules. You know what I mean?
Well, what they should have, that's right, they don't have a conscience. They don't have fucking morals. None of them. So I'm sure. Go ahead, Brittany, change your fucking title. Go ahead and change it. Because you probably got your fucking bitches listening.
Oh, they're in here. They all
I'm glad they are.
Okay,
They go crawling those fucking cellulite crevices all over her fucking body and fucking fester with her.
Ugh, damn.
Chris, on contrary, let's go fishing, Chris.
Because because you go to the fucking gym as a suggestion. No, bitch. That's your husband saying, you ain't attractive enough to fuck.
Well, I tried to tell her that, but
Well, sometimes I gotta hear it from a guy. I don't know.
HELLLYEAAA. Preach.
Because I wouldn't fuck your nasty ass bitch ass anyways with Seth's fucking dick using the 3 fucking condom with a 20-foot fucking pole attached.
damn, Brittany, that's bad.
God.
At Cluminati at Cletus, please put this live on members only when you are done with your live so BJ won't use for content. We all know she is watching, but she don't need to
Sorry.
use for her content.
You're so sick of hearing this shit.
BJ won't play this.
Chris honesty is
Why
refreshing.
not?
I respect that more.
Chicken shit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Let her little other 3 fucking minions get in on it too. Because if I'm right, didn't y'all all sign fucking NDAs?
they can't talk bad about stuff. They can't do it. Legally, they cannot, if you think an NDA is worth anything, right? But legally, they can't talk bad about Seth. Even if they thought there was something awful with him, they couldn't talk about it.
Actually, that's where everybody's wrong. If you have carnal knowledge
Thank you,
of
Chris, for speaking up
nefarious
West Line
criminal
Sebastian.
acts, you can say fucking NDA all the way to a lawyer's office where you can make a report and then they can just eat a fat baby's dick. Because guess what? The NDA don't mean shit.
I mean, I
Of carnal knowledge
Thank you,
of
Chris, for speaking up
nefarious
West Line
criminal
Sebastian.
acts. You can say fucking NDA all the way to a lawyer's office where you can make a report and then they can just eat a fat baby's dick. Because guess what? The NDA don't mean shit.
I mean, I agree.
Eat a fat baby's D. I'm sure the judge will enjoy that one. The stakes are so high for him to be involved in this that that's what he's presenting to the New Mexico custody judge. Also, the argument in the courthouse parking lot. He's cracking the sheriff's delivering the subpoena alleged. I'm telling you, it said criminal warrant on that scanner. We listened to it. Okay? Wait till you hear him talking about the bulletin boards. But I'm sorry to expose this to you, but I just really, really want to make my point. Something became more important than custody. And believe me, in my opinion, it's not Sebastian. It's protecting himself. I don't believe he has the loyalty to protect anyone to this level, in my opinion. Right? And I'm sorry to expose you to it, but we have to talk about this stuff. He's talking about the people searching for Sebastian. Come on here. Come on, I dare you. Kick my door through. And all that, instead of thanking them. It's very odd. And I'm sure, like I said, the judge in New Mexico is going to go, what the heck? Do you think a judge would choose child's best interest, in my opinion, a little girl to live with a man who says, suck a baby's fat D? Let's keep going. It's terrible. He knows everything. He's a lawyer. He tells everyone about the NDA. He's a pharmacist who knows about HIPAA. He knows about absolutely everything, in his opinion. Hi, Frank. Yes, Mods, thank you for being here. I'm sorry, I forgot to thank you. Thank you for being here. We are leading, this is a purpose that we have to listen to this nastiness. I know they're corrupt. I know, but New Mexico is not where he grew up and resides, Miriam M. So I'm counting on that. And this is so obvious. I mean, he's put it out there in the public. And when a judge is weighing best interest and this be presented in front of him, I think he would have to have a huge justification as to how he would give custody to CP and feel the child was safe. Especially, he's watching the missing child search for his stepson and seeing what he's saying about the people searching and stuff. So I don't know. I could be completely wrong. This is just my opinion. Unless KP has some very bad info on CP's family, I don't think he would just because he loves or protect KP. In my opinion, I agree. Let me real quick say thank yous. Joni, thank you so much. Justice for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Amen. And thank you for your donation. Holly S., thank you for being here to mod and your sweet donation. And Miss Sassy T, I just saw that you're going to put together a video, and I'm excited to see that. That'll be wonderful. Thank you for your sweet donation. Peggy, thank you, dear. Always appreciated. And NJ's, thank you so much, my dear. We are, let me see where we're at. We're so close. I'll keep running this so we can, I want you to hear the bulletin board part.
It doesn't protect you from criminal activity, nefarious acts. Oh my God!
Well, the dam just broke. Sorry, Chris. Folded hands, medium skin tone, growing heart.
So, but then again, you've got an intelligence agency that doesn't have a license, who has a Chinese descendant. If he is even a U.S. citizen, hell, he could be a national Chinese or China, whatever the fuck he is. So how the fuck is he going to be part of an intelligence agency? He's not. That ought to let everybody fucking in on something. You can't be a foreign national without being part of an agency, and at night ain't shit. Eat a dick. And Nick, I'm the one that called you a fucking parole officer, bitch. Not them, me.
So let me just recap for a second. At Night Intelligence is helping to search for Sebastian. Dog the Bounty Hunter is as well. Nick and Hong work for At Night. Those are the two individuals. Hong being the individual he is calling a Chinese national that could not be employed with At Night, which is false. Also, that At Night does not like the reward of $500,000 almost. Rewards incentivize people to call, spark interest in the media, and solve cases. Why would a stepfather not want that? Why would he be insulting the people who are searching for Sebastian? Why wouldn't he want an intelligence agency helping? Why wouldn't he want a bounty hunter and celebrity with far reach and amazing audience who can raise such awareness? And why would you want all the bulletin boards taken down? They're set up in Tennessee, in Mississippi. You drive to Horn Lake, you see them. You drive back, they're seen. Drive to Nashville, they're seen. Drive to Memphis, they're seen. That is amazing awareness, and I can't understand not wanting them up. However, it becomes an issue here in a little bit. He starts talking about the bulletin boards. Just a little recap. So he doesn't like the reward. It's a joke. He doesn't like the intelligence agency, says they don't have a license. He's making fun of the people who work for it. Dog the Bounty Hunter, with all the celebrity and raise of the reward and awareness he's brought in, he doesn't like him. And he doesn't want the bulletin boards up that are all over, raising awareness and putting Sebastian's name and face out there. Make it make sense.
What's up, Queen?
Oh my God!
Hey, what's up?
If anyone has the right to
Hi,
fight
lady.
back,
How are you?
it's Chris.
But they ain't got the balls to stop. All the motherfuckers out here want to play. Let's play. Everybody's got my fucking address.
Well, they've been by your house a million times, you know.
But they ain't got the balls to stop.
No, that shit's crazy. And I don't think you should feel bad for popping. I mean, it's been over a fucking year. And you know what's funny to me? BJ sits there with that fucking victim mentality. How would you feel if you were just being dogpiled all the time? Bitch, what the fuck do you think that Chris and Katie have gone through for over a fucking year? You've been dealing with my loudmouth personally for a few, maybe months. I don't even know if it's been that long. A fucking year, bro.
Chris needed
Shut
that,
up.
and so did they. Can I get another amen?
Nonstop at all of them.
Well, her level of intelligence ought to tell you something. When she joins this bullshit deal in Pennsylvania, can't even talk to a fucking attorney. You won't even call her back. Like, what fucking person has an attorney you can't talk to, you can't get a phone call back from? You're fucking retarded. Yeah, I said it. And if it hurts your fucking feelings, so fucking be it.
That's how he feels about saying the R word. So effing be it. That's right. I said it. He just showed it's in his vocabulary. It's in his dialogue. And that's how he used to speak to Sebastian. Billboards are coming. Oh, Holly, yes. I can't imagine that she isn't fighting it. This is all evidence that he is giving her, right, Holly? Just handing it over to them. Let him keep on talking. Wow. The R word. The
I'll
step,
add it, Truth.
the step,
Oh my God!
Get your own content, silly legs. Try something new.
the stepfather allegedly called Sebastian an R also.
You guys make a lot of shit, though. You guys get talked about daily. You get lied on daily. I mean,
painting for no, I mean, you know, I don't think anybody can fucking if anything, people should really take a hard look and be able to commend you for maintaining for this fucking long without popping. So yeah.
Well, I am actually gonna kind of pop what's up.
Hold on 1 second. I think that'll happen. I just saw people saying there wasn't no sound. So
No, I'm not gonna bash the shit out of him, but I am gonna put this out there for him to hear. For Seth R. Rogers and your little billboard and your little crew and all your fucking at-night little minions and whatever the fuck y'all want to call TikTok Tony or Little Dick Tony or whatever the fuck y'all want to call the guy. I don't give a shit. Oh my God! I'm gonna put this out there, Seth. And what you forgot was your parenting plan still a legal document. And in that parenting plan, it says you cannot talk negatively about the other parent and vice versa. But you seem to do it anyways. So keep it up. You just build evidence for a court hearing.
Look who's talking. Every time he opens his mouth, he supports Nina in the fact, in my opinion, that he should not have custody. Unbelievable that he thinks he wrote a parenting plan that'll hold any clout with all those CPS visits to the home, neighbors hearing things. Please. Now he's a legal mediator writing up family plans. Unbelievable.
Take the fucking billboards down and stop the bullshit.
Those billboards raise awareness.
We got.
I know your parenting plan because I wrote the motherfucker myself. So yeah, the internet can break the fuck today because I'm over it.
We got one billboard down. We're working on getting a couple other ones down. Yeah, that's bullshit what they did. So,
Well, if you notice that night, keep their little bitch asses in Pennsylvania. Because you know Nick can't leave Delaware County being on parole.
oh my god!
And home, dude, you're so goddamn wide. We know you can only travel between the hours of 6 a.m. and fucking 7 p.m. during daylight hours. We all know heavy hauls and wide loads can only operate during certain hours. So figure out how to roll your ass the fuck down here and come find me.
I have a feeling that's someone who's not going to show up either. Just saying.
Oh no, because his little bitch ass is dodging being served another legal document from the state of California. What's wrong, home? You chicken shit to go to fucking court? Because you know your little bitch ass attorney Lesniak's gonna fucking save you. Because he's probably too goddamn worried about his own fucking license right now.
Oh my god!
He ought to be.
Oh my god!
I see some of y'all asking what the billboards say. It ain't nothing worth fucking advertising because they're quite honestly, imagine where they came from and you can pretty much figure that they're fucking vile. All right. It's just, that's as nice as I can be about it.
So we're going to stop that one right there. And it's just another testament to what weighs more, what's the priority, what's showing have more stake. What does he have more stake in? It's deflecting, impeding, obstructing, threatening, all of the above, rather than thinking of what's best for his daughter F, if he's saying he's best and should have custody. Very interesting. He is absolutely talking about custody. I don't believe she's been there since summer, but I'm not sure. But this kind of behavior, he's just played right into the hands of Nina so Faith could remain where she is. In my opinion, thank goodness. But I think he's just built a whole case against himself. Right? Thank you so much, Sassy. Teal and turquoise are so much alike. I absolutely saw that. So I'm going to count them all, even if it doesn't count them, because I see that too. Absolutely. I was looking at it too and like, wait a minute. I just thought it all. So yes, we have made our goal to continue to our bonus hour where we will listen to the PI talking to the P-foots, and it's even more shocking because it just shows you the games being played at the expense of a child's life, not his well-being. Thank you so much, Sassy. I appreciate you. Joni, thank you so much. Peggy, hello. Thank you. I appreciate you all contributing to our goal tonight. Hi, NJs. How are you? Thank you, dear. Whispering Winds, thank you all for joining Crime Time Buzz tonight. Yes, I appreciate you all so much. I truly, truly do. Thank you again, Miss Sassy. Appreciate you all. And Miss Holly. And if you received the memberships gifted with such kindness from Raymond and NJ's, please thank them and welcome in. Saturdays, 1 p.m. are our membership reunions, and we will be having another one in the next couple of days, an extra one this week to just talk about stuff. So I want to share an article with you before we get to Miss Nina. Miss Nina. I'm going to hide this. Thank you. And after we get through Nina, I'll answer your questions, and then we'll go into the PI interview because that is shocking. The two of them together talking, and the way he speaks to KP about the narrative, his demands, don't add anything. Don't say, no, you don't say this. You don't. It's shocking when they're asked times. Sure, ballpark, things like that. I believe he says in it that they heard a noise was heard. He didn't say they. A noise was heard between 9 and 12. So just a big old mess, and it's so intentional, and you can hear it in the voices. So that's what we will end with tonight. We're not going to listen to all of Nina. I've got a clip of her that I want us to listen to of some of the things that she went through because CP and his family wanted custody. Okay, there isn't a cut and dry definition for best interest of the child. The term refers to the court's process of deciding who is best fit to care for a child and what actions will benefit the child most. It looks at the needs and who is best suited to meet those needs. So, if you're fighting for custody, you know that this is what is being looked for. So if you're presenting the opposite on a public forum, it's shocking. How to prove the best interest of a child. Okay, parenting plan we're talking about there's something I want to show you. Asking others to testify on your behalf. Witnesses will be a big part of your case. I find this important because I have yet to hear in 14 months someone who spoke of knowing CP, in my opinion, and speaking highly. And then to have this personal storm of anger all over the internet and profanity and vulgarity, and it's terrible. Okay. So witnesses will be a big part of your case to share why they think you're the ideal custodial parent. Well, in this case, I would say, why not? This is important, especially important if you've had troubles with the law or substance abuse. Some judges accept character reference letters in which the witness gives their perspective on why one parent is best fit for custody. Showing you're willing to work with the other parent. You are going to hear from the other parent in a little bit. We're going to revisit it. It is Nina. And we will see how they work. He was willing to work with her, tossing the baby allegedly when she's crying. It just was terrible. Children benefit most when both parents are in their lives. The parent who shows they're willing to co-parent or let the other parent be a part of the child's life is more likely to get custody. So what you'll hear from Nina supports the exact opposite of that, in my opinion. I believe if you believe the other parent is a danger to your child's safety, make sure you have strong evidence to back up your claims. In my opinion, all of this YouTube panel, vulgarity, threats, profanity, sexual references are very strong evidence. He didn't make Nina have to dig. He gave it to her, in my opinion. You could face penalties if you make false accusations. So the proof is there. It's right out of his mouth. There's no false about it. If you're in a situation where the other parent doesn't allow you to be, that's not it. Okay. Show the court how well you know the child. This could be knowing their favorite color, what foods they eat, what extracurriculars they're involved in. Bring crafts they made for you or photos as evidence of how close you are. Have a safe place for your child to live. Make sure you have stable housing. If you do not and the other parent does, they have a better chance at getting custody. Now, I know they're talking about physical stable. Sometimes the parent who stays in the family home is more likely to get custody. In a divorce, the parent who is awarded custody often gets the family home. It's also an advantage to live nearby your ex, as it will make visitations easier and increase your chances of getting a good share of parenting time. And he moved out of state, by the way, away. So the thing of it is I know that's a physical space, but they also look at the stability internally because they've mentioned emotional and all of that. Now, do they look at the stable marriage of he and his new wife? Could be. I would think so, yes. That's the family that the child will be going into. Would the judge look at the mother and her ability to love Faith? I would hope so. How would she or he see that? Watch some interviews. See how often she stands up for her own child and speaks for him, in my opinion. See her advocacy for the one she has that's her own. See her determination to search and find him. That'll all be very telling. Behave in court. Besides the evidence you present, the judge will consider how you carry yourself in court when making a custody decision. Now, in this case, the judge has the advantage of watching him all over YouTube to see how he carries himself as well. Being disrespectful, interrupting will leave a very bad impression. Treat everyone in the courthouse with respect. Best interest of the child checklist. Before you go to court, figure out what factors in your state's best interest of the child test. Common factors across states include parental fitness, emotional, mental, and anger is what he's revealing on YouTube. At what stake? Why did custody and conducting himself in a way to get custody become less of a desperation than threatening, screaming, calling parole officers, wanting things taken down of the people helping search for a stepson? Parents' histories of crime, violence, or substance abuse. I think the violence part will reveal itself. The parent-child relationship, I'm not sure. We'll be interested to hear that. The child's age will be part of the checklist, ensuring stability in the child's life. Now, one has gone, an unusual circumstance, one has gone missing in the home that they want to bring another child into. I think they'll have to look at that, as well as someone being told they were cleared and vetted and it's not true. Then you wonder, why did you fib about that? I think that the arguing, the neighbors hearing arguing in the front yard, all of that will come into play to see if that would be teachers at the school to see if that would be a stable life for Sebastian. The CPS records that are now out there, not the records themselves, but knowledge of them. Suspected child abuse, neglect, or abandonment. Bingo. Bingo, right there. If the court believes one parent serves the child's best interest more than the other, that parent is most likely to become the custodial parent. This designation often comes with the right to have the majority of parenting time and to collect child support. If you're the non-custodial parent, it doesn't mean you're the inferior parent. The course is based their ruling on what means less change for the child sometimes. Okay, so right here, the court believes one parent serves the best interest more than the other. That parent is more likely to become the custodial parent. And they will also take into consideration, in my opinion, they will take into consideration the family that surrounds CP, which will include a lot of stuff. Nina's story, but that's her side. But then now you look and watch the things Melissa's posted about Sebastian allegedly, and we heard the way she spoke and just their demeanors, the way they act. Terry or Papa's step socks, the way he behaves. See, Mama Socks, all of that occurred in that situation that's occurring now. Those would be the family that would be her inner and immediate circle. I was going to say YouTuber. Yeah, it's a joke. He's bringing up a parenting plan. I wanted to say the same thing. Does it include verbal abuse, emotional abuse from him, and CPS reports? Good one, because I was thinking the same thing. Thinking it as well. We are going to listen to a little bit. So he blew, in my opinion, any chance of custody. He could have, first of all, by saying he was vetted and cleared when that wasn't accurate. But if he had conducted himself properly, searching, helping, not impeding, not cussing, not being vulgar, not talking about abuse, like always talking about himself instead of searching for Sebastian, spending so much time on social media instead of doing the right things to help, criticizing the people who do search. None of that's helped him. So the scales have shifted. The custody's gone down in importance, and up here's gone the need to defend, threaten, watch, see everything going on social media. Let's go ahead and listen to Nina. We're going to listen to a short part that will just talk again, this time about what she went through. This is full credit to the channel Missing in Plain Sight. This is what a woman who lived with him, shares a child with him, who is worried about him having to go spend time there, let alone custody go to him.
hitting the car seat against the wall and all these other things and raising his voice at me. And, so they had to step in and his voice is in labor. She's there. But Christopher was just he was just so rude and hateful and just, he wasn't even there. So then he arrived a couple days later after Faith. I had Faith, and he was, the doctors and the nurses there were on high alert due to the fact that they heard Christopher over the phone on how he was being disrespectful to the nurses that were on call that night, as I was waiting to have her. And I asked that they not give him any more information. So he arrived. I had Faith. He arrived a couple days later, like I said. And you could just tell the look on his face, like he wasn't happy at all. Like, didn't say, hey, you did a good job. Didn't say, I'm so happy that you brought my daughter into this world, like nothing. And I remember my sister was holding Faith, and she had to ask Chris, do you want to hold her? He said, I guess. So she handed her over to Chris. And he stayed there with me for a couple more days because I had a C-section. And on one of the occasions, I can't recall what was happening, but he was raising his voice and he was talking to me very disrespectful in front of one of the nurses. And she had told him, look, she just brought life into this world. She just got major surgery and you're yelling at her, and I have a problem with that. She said, if you continue to do this, I'm going to have to tell social services to come down here, and I'm also going to have to ask you to leave the hospital and not return. So at that point in time, he kind of calmed down after he heard that. But unfortunately, that didn't last very long. He continued to do that. So social services at the hospital was told to come down, and he was pretty much, she said, you can't do that here. And she was really concerned for my well-being at the time, and also Faith's, because, here is Christopher, dictating and telling me what I can and can't do, and telling the nurses to do their job correctly and all these other things, and raising his voice at me. And, so they had to step in. And so she said, this is it. Like, you're going to have to leave the premises. And, and he got a little upset, and he's like, no, I'm going to change. I'm going to be good. So, they said, okay, but we're watching you. We're watching you.
So she went through all of that during having the child. And they went on high alert, the doctors and the nurses, when they heard he was coming. She can get those character references too. It's just not pretty, is it? It's just not pretty at all. And on top of it, now he's a doctor, telling them what they should do. Really, really just shocking. They had to threaten for him to leave the premises. I wonder if he has, like, what is that called? Napoleon syndrome, where because he's shorter, he has to be kind of aggressive and to make up for it. I wonder if that's where this began, as kind of a bully, don't bully me, I'm going to bully you, because I don't know, in my opinion. But this is heartbreaking what she goes through, and this, it just says a lot, doesn't it? We're going to go to the PI here in just a little bit. That's very telling of the games being played.
So after that, we had left. They discharged all of us from the hospital, and he didn't want to stay at my parents' house because my mom and dad live in a trailer, and he doesn't like that. It's a house, right? Still. So he rented a room at Kirtland Air Force Base, and they have like lodging there, which is like a house, old base housing, and we ended up getting one of those. And we stayed there for a while. I remember one night in particular where we all had went out and got something to eat to bring it back to the room. I had went into the restroom, I believe that's where I was at, and Faith was in her car seat, and my oldest daughter was in the living room with my son and Christopher. Well, anyways, I guess I wasn't moving fast enough for Christopher, but the baby started crying. Faith started crying. And, you know, she's crying and I'm trying to get to her as fast as I can. And when she was in the car seat, my oldest daughter at the time witnessed this with my 3-year-old son. When she was in the car seat, he ended up hitting the car seat against the wall. And he's getting upset because she's crying. And then when she was in her car seat, there was a coffee table right there, and he ended up tossing her on the coffee table with the car seat because he was so irate that she was crying. And I said, hey, I said, what's your problem? I said, what are you doing? Like, she's a baby. She's going to cry. I wish I would have just it's a house, right? Still. So he rented a room at Kirtland Air Force Base, and they have like lodging there, which is like a house, old base housing, and we ended up getting one of those. And we stayed there for a while. I remember one night in particular where we all had went out and got something to eat to bring it back to the room. I had went into the restroom, I believe that's where I was at, and Faith was in her car seat, and my oldest daughter was in the living room with my son and Christopher. Well, anyways, I guess I wasn't moving fast enough for Christopher, but the baby started crying. Faith started crying. And, you know, she's crying and I'm trying to get to her as fast as I can. And when she was in the car seat, my oldest daughter at the time witnessed this with my 3-year-old son. When she was in the car seat, he ended up hitting the car seat against the wall. And he's getting upset because she's crying. And then when she was in her car seat, there was a coffee table right there, and he ended up tossing her on the coffee table with the car seat because he was so irate that she was crying. And
So that anger, that's his own kiddo. his own flesh and blood. I feel if you're not, right? In my opinion, it's just terrifying. Oh my goodness. Let me say my thank yous. I want to get to the questions. Let me say the thank yous, and then I wanted to get to the questions. Nina has this, Kiki. Oh, I'm sure Nina has this because, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going back. I believe, oh, you're going to the explosion one. Kiki, I believe Nina does have it. She is in contact, from what I've heard and paying attention to those things, but you are correct. It's a golden gem, isn't it? Let me go back to your questions too. Sorry, I didn't. In the words of Nancy, 2KP, 2KP. Oh, yes. Thank you, Kelly. That was hilarious. And you say, oh my goodness, that Nancy Grace interview also is just priceless because she doesn't ask questions that there's not a reason. And I keep going back to it. Like the bathrooms now come up. I didn't understand. Nancy brought up, did you feel confident the bathroom was searched? And KP kind of was like, yeah. And then in Dateline, KP added to her dialogue that she searched the bathroom. So there, I'm wondering, we got to go back to that one again. So this is, but it's vile. And I'm telling you, he's so desperate he is so very desperate to deflect and stop people and get the billboards down. Those billboards shouldn't bother one person or the only people it should bother is the people that should be behind bars for anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance. And acting this way makes it look like he knows who those people are, has guilty knowledge, has something. And in my opinion, possibly more. Okay. Let's see what else you guys have asked me real quick. Yes, Ringy Dingy. He talked about Seth's member. He wouldn't use it to something vile with sex and BJ. Allegedly with Brittany. It's a missing child. We need to advertise right. Pride cometh before the fall. Yes, I was very offended for the things he said about Hong as well. I was too. I find it shows lack of character. I mean, why are you going after someone's race when they're helping put up billboards for your missing stepson? Please hit the like button if you haven't. Thank you, Michelle Scott. I always forget to say that. Yes, how dare he even involve Seth's name in that vulgar rampage? You guys heard the response Seth told him, right? Put a 1 if you did not hear Seth's response to that vile outrage. I know, Terry B, these panel people have a very skewed idea of vile. They didn't say that when CP was ranting. I know, and even worse, Terry B said, no one would blame you, for using the R word. Yes, we would. The oh my God, I think is from Clues Chat with CP and every time she gets money. Oh, okay. I know. That's the thing is that's the whole point of this is you're right, Ringy Dingy. In my opinion, I agree. He's guilty after this. We just need to find out about what to be charged. And that's exactly right. About what. what is it? It could have been, there's so many reasons of things he could be covering up and deflecting from in this. And most importantly, how does all of this play into it? That we now see the importance of this defense, this tirade, whatever it is you want to call it, became more important than the custody battle, because truly, you wouldn't be acting like this. And I mean, it's beyond anger, in my opinion. You can be angry, but that is just something else. It's vile. So I don't know, listen, and then if you hear about how the family conspired together against Nina to get Faith, Papa Bauer's step socks, allegedly coming to the door with a baseball bat when she came to get her. And she had her other children right there. So in my opinion, I don't think you could, in my opinion, it's just not safe. I hope that the judge sees that. Let's see what other comments you all have here. Hello, Bubby Garcia. SI officer. Yes, they're repulsive. I agree. She's 8 now. Thank you, Caroline. I agree, Playboys. In my opinion, that needs to be sent to CPS, how he talks on baby. Oh, everything. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are very right. I don't know why he all of a sudden decided he wanted custody. I don't know if he pays child support. I don't know what their situation is there. I just know that this ain't helping him. The stakes are very high in the disappearance and search that he would do this. Yes, let's get to the PI thing as soon as I get down to the questions. I just wanted you to see and go to Hidden in Plain Sight if you want to watch the rest of it. But I just wanted you to see, that was his own child. Toss her on the table because she was crying too much. And later on, it comes out terrible things. Melissa saying when Nina got to take the baby back with her from out of Tennessee to New Mexico, she's trying to get in the car, and Nina talks about Melissa saying, run her over, things like that, and them chasing her down the highway at 80. It's just very, very sad. Very, very toxic, in my opinion. So let's see. Leave the billboards alone and keep them up. It tells a story. It's important. It makes the public aware that he is not a runaway, that he vanished. Someone took him, that we need to keep looking for him. Let's see here if you've got any questions. Thank you, WW, so much. I'm going to come in and say all my thank yous. Let's see. Just checking to see if you have any questions about that vile recording. And remember, April 2nd, it was the courthouse argument after the sheriff came to the door. Then he's been doing a lot of panel talking, apparently, since SF's been gone. I think he's cracking. I really do. Thank you, NJs. I do think he's cracking. Just trying to see if there's any questions here that where can we read those? Where can we read what Whispering Winds? Is it something for me? Wait, what says, I have BHB cardboard box style set up all around the neighborhoods they ride to and from, and put cameras on each of the BHB card. I don't know what that is. What is a BHP cardboard box? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. And also Nina's story about TB coming to the door with a baseball bat, right, Patricia? Yes, please don't mention other creators. Please, please. And then not to mention now there's a judge been threatened that had to recuse themselves. We don't know who did it, but how long until, oh, okay. Yes, that public opinion, that's where the time's being put. Seems every time Nina would take one step ahead, Tennessee would knock her back 2 steps. Yes, Gypsy. That it was a very telling. Yes, they can get Women's Warrior. That's right. The hospital was concerned they should make a statement about it. Newborn baby in a public hospital. He cannot control his behavior. That's very concerning to me, in my personal opinion. Yes, and I'm Nina. Please make sure you get those character witnesses. I hope this is something she uses in her custody case. Yes. Oh, that was so sweet of you. Thank you, Sassy. Sorry I'm so far behind. Let me go ahead and say my thank yous. Because Sassy, you've just been a sweetheart. Lori, thank you so much. NHGG. We did reach our goal, by the way, my friends. Jen, I'm not sure if you're still in here, but we love you. Joanne, thank you so much. Holly S., thank you. Miss Sassy, you've just been the star of the show tonight. Thank you so much for your support. Peggy, thank you, my dear. NJs, thank you. Whispering Winds, thank you all for joining Crime Time Buzz tonight. Yes, teal and turquoise are so much alike. I agree. Thank you. Debbie W., thank you. Oh, that dog's beautiful. Look at those eyes. Thank you, Debbie. That's very kind of you. Look at those eyes. Beautiful. Thank you, Miss Sassy. Shining Star, thank you. Hello, Jay and Mods. Thank you for all what you do. Yes, thank you, Mods. And thank you, Shining Star. That's very sweet. Sassy again and again. Thank you so much. My goodness, I'm honored. I appreciate you. Shining Star, thank you to you again. Thank you so much. Enjoy the simple things in life. Thank you, Jay. You are so welcome. We're going to move on to, after I thank Ohio Stephanie, thank you so much. We are now going to listen to the PI interview. It's going to be credit to Clutch Them Pearls, but what I'm going to try and do, Justin comes in with his commentary and I'll try and mute and use my commentary during that time, but credit definitely to Justin at Clutch Them Pearls. Thank you, Sassy. You all are amazing. Thank you so much. But you said, Little Man Syndrome, Castle. Hey, Castle, how you doing? Buzz, Small Man Syndrome. Well, you know what? Yeah, it's that Napoleon's syndrome. It is. Let me read it to you. It is Napoleon syndrome. Let me read that to you real quick. I think that's what it's called. The Napoleon complex, excuse me. Also known as the short man complex or Napoleon syndrome, is a colloquial term suggesting that short men tend to overcompensate for their perceived height disadvantage by displaying aggressive or domineering behavior. This belief, while not a recognized clinical disorder, stems from the idea that short stature can be a source of feelings of inferiority, leading to compensatory behaviors. See? Napoleon syndrome, Napoleon complex, short man syndrome, short man complex. Okay, let me get this pulled up on Clutch. I will be right there. Moz, will you watch the chat for 1 second? Thank you. This in itself, and like I said, we're going to watch it on Clutch, and he gives his commentary, Justin does, but I'm going to try and go in on with mine. And it's very telling you all I mean, it just shows that there's a game. Oops, sorry. Just shows that there's a game being played. It really does. Okay. I think this is the one I was on. And this is credit to Clutch Them Pearls. Let me put that up because he did the work for us to be able to watch this. So I'm going to put that up there. Very telling. I'm telling you, this is very telling on how critical every moment, second is, in my opinion, to them. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and let you listen. Oops, I didn't put the banner up. Hold on. There we go. Right.
I'm not asking you to tell me what's right. I'm asking you to tell me what you actually
Gifted. Appreciate you being here.
For those of you who do not know, this is Seth's PI from back in the early days, the beginning of the search, Heather, on a call that was recorded with CP and KP trying to get details, information. And it's a vague game with them, in my opinion. You form your own. It's just shocking.
And Edgar does most of the talking from what sounds like to me. Your first and members only, Cassandra. So, like I said, I'm bringing it to you guys first. I will bring it out maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow, but here it is.
Right.
I'm not asking you to tell me what's right. I'm asking you to tell me what you actually know.
About the
situation.
situation.
Set you down and should have told you from start to finish.
So this is, I guess, how Edgar talks to
this is how his, like Justin was just about to say, this is how he's speaking to the female PI. Right out of the gate. What do you know? Well, I'm sorry, KP was there. KP should tell the PI what she knows. Very strange.
Well, hold on.
Hey, hindsight. First and members only, Cassandra. This is, I guess, how Edgar talks to people.
Where he's at and what he knows, right?
Where he's at and what he knows.
No. He should have set you down and told you every single thing from day one to where we are at now.
Well, I mean, I've gotten most of my information from, I know that, I know about y'all going to BJ's. I know about y'all going to Strike and Spare, and I know y'all picked up Melissa's daughter.
And say, well, hold on. See, this is where your information's wrong.
Okay.
I did not
Okay.
pick up Melissa's daughter.
First, let me correct you.
I thought that was on an interview. Didn't y'all say?
No, hold on. Let's change.
Ma'am.
I need you to change your words.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
that's why we're talking, so we can clear things, like figure
Right.
things out.
Once again, y'all didn't do shit.
Chris was in Memphis.
Oh, Chris was in Memphis, right? Okay, so sorry.
Don't say y'all. Thank you.
Okay, my bad.
So Katie and Sebastian with
right.
prior to going to BJ's.
After picking up our niece,
I said prior to going to BJ's,
which was not Melissa's.
they went and picked up a niece. That name is not going to be disclosed because it has no
Has been through.
business. And I promise you, you don't want to go to that house.
That child is going through enough with this.
You do need to know is
BJ's.
all you need to know is that two sisters, Katie, Sebastian, and children went to BJ's. That is on a video footage.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Law enforcement can confirm that.
So, important to catch right there. KP, very verbal, stating, "Oh no, I didn't go pick up Melissa's daughter." And he very insistent to distance himself. You all didn't do anything. Now, he didn't argue when she said you all went to BJ's. He didn't argue when she said you all went to Strike and Spare. But he started to argue as soon as she mentions picking up the niece. That's when you all don't say that. So there's something with the niece, in my opinion. I've always thought it was odd the way KP introduced that because she looked at him, she stumbled. They don't say who called to tell her to pick up the niece. Called is how they start the mid-sentence. It's just all my observations. That's always seemed odd to me. But important, two sisters, KP, Sebastian, and children, he says. So there's more than a niece there. I'm wondering if that is because Lori, KP's friend who was in town, maybe her son, we'll call him E, I don't know. Or other cousins, I don't know. But children. And that child's been through enough, KP says. If only she could have said that in the home on Stafford Court for Sebastian, with CPS coming repeatedly, allegedly, in my opinion.
Right.
She needs
But
to be picked up.
names don't need to be extracted, don't need to be out.
Yeah, I mean, minors' names don't need to be thrown out anyway.
Exactly.
No,
My sister doesn't need any more harassment either.
Yeah, I haven't said anything about Melissa at all.
No,
I haven't even mentioned
but
her.
I'm saying
Well, Melissa,
his other sister.
once again, my two sisters, Melissa and Cassie, were there. That's on video footage.
Yeah.
That has all been vetted. That has been proven. Proof of life, all that bullshit. Everything.
Right. Yeah.
Proof of life BS. Did you hear that? Proof of life of Sebastian is bull S to him. I mean, it's just, it's shocking. And he says, well, we're not going to talk about names. But then he says, my two sisters, Melissa and Cassie, were there. He never, he'll say something in the beginning of a sentence, like when he was on Nancy Grace. Do you have motion lights? Yes, ma'am, we do. Where are they? Or did they come on? Ma'am, they're not motion lights. It just doesn't make sense. And by the way, the one above the garage is motion lights. And I need to pull my images of that for you guys that my source gave to me. So it's strange. He can't just give a straight answer. Like when he was asked about CPS by Nancy Grace, in my opinion, remember, it was just a very weird explanation, senseless, in my opinion. It just doesn't make sense. So let's keep going. This is Heather's PI Heather, who worked for Seth early on. trying to talk to the P-Foots on a recorded call, getting information regarding Sebastian's disappearance. And it's very telling, in my opinion. And this is credit to Clutch Them Pearls.
Proof of life, all that bullshit. I noticed that. Yeah, all that bullshit. What the fuck? My heart just fluttered, honest to God.
From word beginning to has been told.
Yeah.
At all.
Now, they go to BJ's. They leave BJ's.
Sebastian and I leave BJ's. Your sisters went their own way. I don't know what
I know.
they did.
You said they left BJ's. I did not insinuate a name. I didn't say whose.
It was just me and Bubba that left together.
So you and Sebastian leave BJ's.
Okay, so can because I don't have actual times.
Okay, now listen to this. So think about this. Is much different as well.
I'll give you an honor about
Listen to this.
BJ's.
Okay, so can because I don't have actual times. Can I
Listen
get
to
a
this.
timeline on that?
I don't remember the exact.
I'll give you an honor about time. I can't give you an exact time.
So
What do you mean you'll give an on or about time, Edgar? Your ass is supposed to be 3.5 hours away. What is he talking about? I'll give you on or would you let your wife speak? It's her son, after all. Who does it's oh God, I don't even know.
360 to give exact timestamps to the law enforcement.
It was before noon.
Gotcha.
They gave Life 360, they said, to law enforcement. Nope.
Okay. Before noon at BJ's.
Yes.
Okay.
BJ's before noon. I didn't know it was before noon.
Actually, if it's before noon, let's think about this. So they go to BJ's before noon. What, they spend an hour there at the most eating their colossal popcorn that doesn't exist. It's a colossal pretzel. Let's say, okay, so let's say before noon. Let's say even 11:30. They spend an hour at BJ's. Then they go to the Strike and Spare, which has a big line, you're going to find out, because there was a tournament. So they play games. So I'm saying about an hour. 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. So let's just say 2. Then they go to the grocery store and are home by 3 to put away the groceries. So there's 2.5, a good couple, few hours they're at home. I didn't realize that. Interesting. So there's time at home. It would be hard to live with him, especially someone who has a very hard time. With autism, it's hard to recognize social cues or recognize emotions. To be, to look at someone's emotions, to look ahead. It would have been very hard for Sebastian. Yes, he's very triggering. I agree, Woman's Warrior. It's very triggering in many ways. And I'm going over some of the things that we're talking about, Nina, real quick. Still, Faith is CP's only biological child, yes, that I know of. There was rumors he has another one, but thank you for the one. Okay, Charlene. Thank you. Thank you, Moonstruck. I see your ones now. Remember to say, in my opinion, well, that whole display. Yes, hit the thumbs up, please. Hello, Castle. Hello, Caroline. WW, Betty Bet Cook. I was a little disappointed with America's Most Wanted. There wasn't a lot of facts. I hope that as they continue forward, that rather than 3 cases, maybe they go to 2 so they can give more information, get the readers hooked a little bit more. So let's keep going on this interview. But yeah, I agree. I thought it was but again, they probably didn't have a lot to work with on one end, but they should have just beefed it up and showed the stuff that they had from Seth, in my opinion. Very sad. So we're talking about the stakes. What stakes are so high in the disappearance of your stepson that you would behave in a manner that you know would diminish your capacity chances of getting custody of your child? The stakes must be very high because you know when you're out there, it's being recorded, the judge is listening, your ex is sharing it to him. Your chances are going down and down. So what is it the defense about? Is it guilty knowledge? Is it just pure hate that you don't want? Jealousy that Sebastian's getting attention, allegedly? I don't know. But it's weird. It's odd, in my opinion. And this interview is very telling because it shows the opposite of sense of urgency. It reveals right out loud to everyone the admittance of a narrative that you don't add to, don't say this, don't say that. And urgency is definite. It shows that a timeline to them. They don't want an actual timeline. They're giving ballparks here and there's 3-hour windows. Sure. They don't want to create a timeline. He shouldn't be even involved. He's not home, allegedly. But KP, even she says, oh, ballpark, and that she can't remember when they went to BJ's. How do you not remember the last time you went somewhere with your child? And you've had to talk to police about it since the next day. How can you not remember that time? Is it because you've switched it up so much? It makes no sense. How do you not remember the last time that you did something with your child? How can you not remember what time it was, especially when you had to recite it repeatedly for 14 months, for months and months and months, starting the day after? How can you not remember that time? You've been telling it since the next day. This interview is very telling, in my opinion.
You need to change your words. Yes. Exactly, widow.
Okay, so
He was there that week.
The literal.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Enforcement has the literal, like.
I'm going to back that up just a little bit.
You and Sebastian leave BJ's.
okay, so can because I don't have actual times. Can I get a timeline on that?
I don't remember the exact.
I'll give you an on or about time. I can't give you an exact time.
So
I used LI 360 to give exact timestamps to the law enforcement.
It was before noon.
gotcha. Okay. Before noon at BJ's.
Yes.
Okay.
Law enforcement has the literal, like, to the second.
We have been told we are not to give out exact times. And
Gotcha.
that came direct.
That is not true because Justin here shared an email from Brandon Carter, the lead investigator, I believe it was Brandon, one of the investigators who clarified they do not and cannot tell people what to say and not to say. So again, here we go. He deflects from what he doesn't want shared. So why in the world is it important for Chris to interrupt KP and to make that statement when it should be irrelevant to him? Because he wasn't there. He's defending something. And I'm telling you, friends, my opinion, he's defending himself. He's fighting this narrative so hard. And he wasn't even there, allegedly. Even to the point where he's interrupting the person that was. Is there a lot at stake? You betcha. You betcha there is. In my opinion.
From law enforcement, we're not breaking that.
You are so full of fucking shit. Pardon my French. You were told by law enforcement, Edgar, that you are not to give out exact times. Why? Why would you not be told to give out exact times? What does that have to do with Sebastian missing?
Just like telling Nancy Grace that he can't, just like telling Nancy Grace, we're not allowed to talk about the Brinks car, so I can't tell you make and model. What do you mean? Isn't it sitting in your driveway? Yeah. Well, did you ask? No. Then how do you know you can't? Well, we can't. And it hasn't moved, by the way. I'm telling you, that's something to do with that. Because that's a weird, weird discussion. It's sitting in the driveway. Why wouldn't you tell make and model? GPS, dash cam, that was allegedly, according to Dog, they were in there with it turned off. All those deflections lead to something, in my opinion. And they all point to the stakes are very high for this man, in my opinion. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the knowledge is. If there's knowledge, if he's protecting, involved, the one, but he wasn't supposed to be home. And he sure is so involved in being so nasty that he has minimized his chances of custody over it. The stakes are high for him. Sadly, they're very high for Sebastian, and all this game playing of, well, sometime before, I'll give you an on or about. Let's talk about that. If his judge for custody hears that they are trying to search for a missing child, and he has knowledge, but he's going to give an on or an about. Right? First of all, why is it him, not her? And why is he giving an on or about instead of an exact time? So we can get a timeline. So law enforcement and private, everyone can get a timeline. Nope. And there's a Life 360. And she says, KP says, they got the exact times. He's something else. It's a game to him. I'll give you on or about. Why would you be hiding times that could help regarding a child gone missing? What are you trying to hide? Who are you trying to protect? That's not protecting Sebastian. Sebastian needs full transparency, things to be crystal clear. So he is protecting something. The stakes are high, and he's showing it.
And we know, Edgar, because I have an email from Mr. Carter that says we cannot tell them to say anything or not say anything. I have that email. People can call me a liar. Do you think I would put a detective and fake an email with his phone number on there attached, his name, anything like that to it? You are dumb as hell if you think I would do that. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. Edgar, he said we cannot tell anyone to say something or not say something. Sounds like Melissa and Cassie with Cassie's daughter went to BJ's. Not to say a certain time, a certain unbelievable. Anyone who believes him, it's anyone who believes that, I really like, if they believe that stuff, they just shouldn't be in true crime, in my opinion. Like, that is a basic to them. They took it.
Because we have, like I said, they literally used my 360 and like
They got the
knew
timestamps.
That route I took.
Yes.
They knew how fast I went. They knew if I did any stops, which I didn't. They know, like they literally know every detail because we have upgraded 360. So they literally, and I have a thing in my car with a camera.
Yeah, the dash cam.
It's not a dash cam. See,
Oh,
that's
okay.
where everybody's wrong.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell people what it is, but all they need to know is
That's what they do. They find it.
there was something that.
Like they literally know every detail because we have upgraded 360. So they literally, and I have a thing in my car with a camera.
Yeah, the dash cam.
It's not a dash cam. See,
Oh,
that's
okay.
where everybody's wrong.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell people what it is, but all they need to know is in this vehicle, there was something that recorded a video and audio.
But law enforcement had multiple sources to confirm every move I made that day.
Edgar says it's not a dash cam.
So what could it be? Hi, Canine Captain Jules. Thank you for the great videos you've been putting out. Appreciate it. Hey, hi, All I Need is Jesus. Oh, great point. All I need is Jesus. Great point. What was I just going to say? That's a great point. What could be in a vehicle? A GoPro. You told me that the other day, a GoPro. Sassy taped a recorder to her dash and called it a dash cam. Carolyn says a GoPro of some sort. Okay. He's allegedly been in chats tonight. If anyone listens to it, would you do me a favor and clip it for me and email it to me at crimetimebuzz@gmail.com? The stakes are high. Let's see. He's cracking, friends. He's cracking. Those billboards, over 400 more went up. He's cracking. Thank you again, Raymond, for gifting another Crime Time Buzz membership. Very kind. And if you receive it, please thank Raymond. Welcome in. Saturdays, 1 p.m. are our reunions. And we're doing an extra one this week to talk some things. We need to talk some candid things that have been going on and just be able to talk freely, a little more freely in our members only. So look for that in the next couple of days. We'll have an extra one. Let's continue.
But he's not going to tell people what that is. Well, that's interesting. It's not no, it's infinity. Location and keep
And I looked up the 2017 Infinity. They do not have a built-in dash cam yet, just so you all know. Hi, Teresa. Hello, hello. What do you need to email? Does someone need to email me about something? I'm sorry. Oh, in our chat, NJs? Are you talking about in our chat? Oh, okay. Okie dokes. Do you know what name? Okay. Maybe the thumbnail caught his attention. Bring what? I'm looking. Hold on, everyone. I want to read what's going on here. Let me see. Oh, Baba Rose got your membership. Thank you for letting me know. Just seeing where we. Okie dokes. Well, just let me know if you guys need anything. Oh, PCP. Oh, okay. Got it. PCP program. Interesting. Yeah, well, this is how, conversation goes with a PI trying to find his stepson. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you when, but I will give you a roundabout time. Thank you, Raymond. Before noon. Okay, watch how he plays with that timeline and why is it so important to him to play with that timeline. If you receive this membership, join us Saturdays. And again, this week we'll be meeting again. And thank you to Raymond. And please thank him if you receive it. And Raymond, thank you so very much. I so appreciate you and your support. All of you, your support being here. Thank you so much. And welcome in to the recipient.
The last location.
Okay.
We went home after BJ's for a little while.
What did she say there? Hold on.
And
I can't
unloaded the
understand her.
We went home after BJ's for a little while.
Okay. She says, we went home. That's interesting right there. We went home after BJ's ... for a little while. Not to put groceries away. Not to put groceries away. What did she say she bought?
So wait a minute. They went home after BJ's before the strike and spare. So we just can't get anything straight. Okay. So they went to BJ's before noon and then to the strike and spare. Or then went home for a while before going to the strike and spare. Let's listen on, see what's going on. Hi, Broken Wings SC. Welcome in. Thank you, Raymond and Jace.
At BJ's? What did she say she bought at BJ's? That's interesting. Listen to that again. Listen to how she says it too.
There was something that recorded a video and audio.
But law enforcement had multiple sources to confirm every move I made that day.
Okay.
Up to and including voice and video.
Okay, she said voice and video.
Okay.
We went home after BJ's for a little while, including voice and video.
Okay.
We went home after BJ's for a little while.
And unload.
We went home after BJ's for a little while. Unloaded the groceries. She said, yeah, we didn't get a whole.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot, but yeah.
For a little while. That's Heather typing, I guess.
The groceries.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot, but yeah,
What'd she say?
And after they were at the house,
for a little while.
And unloaded the groceries.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot, but yeah. Went home after BJ's for a little while.
And unloaded the groceries.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot, but yeah.
What happened to snacks? They're important. Teenager got his favorite snacks. She wasn't even going to bring up the groceries. Heather brought it up, unloading the groceries. That's interesting. I wonder if she would have brought that into the narrative if Heather hadn't brought it up. But then she's like, did you hear her kind of hesitation, in my opinion? Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot. So nothing about snacks, but let's keep going. Let's see. Napa nap. What does go to church really mean? I know. Hi, Starlito.
Oh, she says unloaded the groceries. She said, yeah, we didn't get a whole lot, but yeah. This is freaking weird. Stop talking. She was her.
and after they were at the house, they wound up eventually leaving there, and they go to Strike and Spare.
Because we were gonna go bowling.
Because the plan was to go bowling, but because there was a bowling tournament going on,
Yeah.
they didn't get to bowl. They had to play video games.
There was too long of a wait list, and it was a school night, so I promised to take him bowling another day, and instead we played video
But the
games.
school night, it was Sunday night, weekend night going into the school. We don't. No, it is not. It's considered a weekend. Don't add. Don't take away.
He had to go to bed to get up for school the next day.
Okay.
Hold on. He's such a jerk to her.
Why would it matter to CP as she is telling her narrative? So they went from BJ's to the Strike and Spare. Everyone met at the home while they were there for a little while. Then they went to the Strike and Spare, but there was a tournament and it was a long waiting list to bowl. So we played in the arcade because it was a school night. No. Do not say school night. It was a weekend night. Don't add and take away. See, it's strange. The person who is telling what happened, he is correcting her. Very interesting. School night, Sunday night, school night. School's the next day. Why is that something? We have to think about that. Yeah, was this a normal day? Right. I'd love to be shown how many other times this family outings occurred, centered around Sebastian's interests. Key. Let's keep going.
To her.
Okay.
What did he say right there? Don't something to me?
That's still not into school.
And what did
Don't take away.
He had to go to bed to get up for school the next day.
Okay.
hold on. He's such a jerk to her. He's a jerk to her. Who could stay married to this guy? I mean, really. And what did he say right there? Don't something to me?
That's still not into school. We don't. No, it is not. It's considered a weekend. Don't add. Don't take away.
He had to go to bed to get up for school.
Don't add, don't take away. Don't add, don't take away. Mm-hmm.
The next day.
Okay, that's still not school though.
Semantics.
Semantics is a large play in this deal.
It means a night that you have to go to bed to get up for school.
Sunday night is a school night. It is. You gotta get ready for school the next day. It's no different than Monday night. Except you didn't go to school Sunday during the day. She's messing up his story, you think?
Understand something? You can say that. If she puts some shit out there like that, everybody's going to think, oh, well, it was a school night. So was it Sunday?
Sunday night.
But I'm telling you how these dumbasses think.
Mm.
I'm explaining to you. It's all it fucking takes.
All right. So after BJ's went home.
And so that's part of their relationship. The way he speaks to her, in my opinion, would be also something that would be important to the custody judge. Remember, he talked about relationships, how they were in the homes. That's the talk that the judge would hear and then know Faith would be listening to, in my opinion. Yes, this is complete proof of him directing the narrative. Thank you, Sassy. Unbelievable. From early on, correcting KP, who's there, telling her how to say things. It's very important you don't say school night. Right? That's just odd. I'll tell you on or about. Well, no, you shouldn't tell anything. But if you're going to, you give exactness. This is a child's life. This shows no urgency. This shows needing to hedge times, change times, be vague during the search for his stepson. And that could, I don't understand it. Because he knows what's at stake for himself. Custody. So why? Right? Why?
To unload groceries, then went to Strike and Spare. We played in the arcade for a while because
all that's been vetted by video.
Yeah.
They watched our every move the whole time we were there.
Nobody spoke to Sebastian as far as any adult. They can't see anywhere in the videos that they were followed. So if that is something that you're going to speculate on, that has been eliminated.
Yeah, I did.
He wasn't followed, but they do want to know what was going on that afternoon when you were there for a while, or they were there for a while. It was
When he says everything's vetted, I start looking.
a while back, Trishy.
I did talk to them about that, and they said that the cameras were shit. That they weren't really able to see a whole lot of anything at the Strike and Spare.
I mean, I've got photos of them at the Strike and Spare. We went. Listen to what she says about Seth here.
Strike and Spare's kind of getting up there in age.
But they went all the way back to BJ's, all at Fun Jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, so let's think about this. Let's think about this a minute. Oh. How long are you going to be at the Arcade and Spare?
They confirmed again the
We're going to have to go back over Chronicles of Olivia.
They confirmed again the video there. They even showed Seth.
Let me go back. Let's listen to that again. One
I
second.
did talk to them about that, and they said that the cameras were shit. That they
went all the way back to BJ's, all at Fun Jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
He interrupts her.
What was she about to say right there? They went straight, she says, we went straight from Strike and Spare to, and he goes, Texas Roadhouse. Let's go back and listen to that real quick. I'm going to rewind for a sec.
She almost said house. He
I thought
interrupted,
so
said
too.
Texas Roadhouse.
I thought it was house too. Let's go back and listen.
12. They were there, and then you go.
That they
They went all the way back to BJ's, all at Fun Jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
that they
They went all the way back to BJ's, all at Fun Jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
Was she going to say our house? Very strange. Okay. Yes, they left Texas Roadhouse between 6:24. Yes, you got it, Sassy. 6:25. 6:24 and 6. They exited at 6:24. And I still think that we need to go back over that together. Let's keep going. That's really weird because he interrupted her through like overbearing. And when he does that, it makes me think he's afraid of what she's going to say. And there's something he needs said. Right there, he needed it said that they went from Strike and Spare to Texas Roadhouse. He interrupted her. I thought she was saying house. I'm going to play it one more time.
We're going to have to go back over Chronicles of Olivia.
They confirmed again the video there. They even showed Seth.
Let me go back. Let's listen to that again. One
I
second.
did talk to them about that, and they said that the cameras were shit. That they
They went all the way back to BJ's, all at Fun Jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
He interrupts her.
They even showed Seth.
Let me go back. Let's listen to that again. One
I
second.
did talk to them about that, and they said that the cameras were shit. That they
went all the way back to BJ's, all at Fun Jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
He interrupts her.
I think he says house. She's starting to say
She
house.
said we went from Strike and Spare, and then we went back to, and he goes, Texas Roadhouse. How do you know? How do you know, Edgar?
Yeah,
She can tell her story. You don't need to tell her story. Got it.
seen proof of life comment. Even
She said back to.
confirmed again the video there to
She said back to.
They went all the way back to BJ's, all at Fun Jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
I can't understand it, so I don't know if it's.
confirmed again the video there. They even showed Seth a clip of it after his little I haven't seen proof of life comment, even though he had.
Yeah.
What did he tell you about that?
Boy, they don't like.
Mocking Seth. She is mocking Seth there for saying Seth's little proof of life comment. Any parent would want to see the last proof of life if they went missing under someone else's care and there was footage. She mocks that. Wouldn't she want to see that? If the tables were turned? That's shocking.
They get irritated about proof of life, don't they?
About what?
That his little comment, he hadn't seen proof of life since Friday or
Insinuating that
Thursday or Friday when I last saw or heard from my son.
Yeah, I'd heard about that comment. I mean, he hasn't said it to me, but I had heard about the comment.
But see, this is where, like, truth be told, this is where everything needs to come out.
he already knew that there was proof of life.
He knew there was proof of life prior to that. He started some shit. It caused the fucking stir. It caused the meeting. They showed him a video. Texas Roadhouse. They showed when they walked out of Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
He has seen a video of Sebastian at the fucking house Sunday night taking the fucking trash out.
Right.
From inside my car.
Yeah.
Well, Edgar, they
That's very disturbing the way he talks. He's seen him taking the effing trash out. I mean, how do you talk about him missing like that? It's just terrible. But to be upset that proof of life was wanted to be seen is confusing also. It's those things that most people would want if they have a missing child that they are upset about. I'm not connecting with it. The public can't connect. His voice inside her car. I thought she said audio and video. We'll have to go back here for the truth. Thank you for pointing that out. But CP, you were on the motorcycle. What, Caroline? At Texas Roadhouse? I don't know about T. Sauerbox. I think, in my opinion, many are covering, but I don't know how many actually have knowledge or were involved. I don't know. I know to talk about a child that hasn't been seen, to say proof of life like it's trash, just like the reward's a joke, the billboards need to come down. It's terrible, in my opinion.
They said they couldn't see if it was really
From inside my
Taking the fucking trash out.
Right.
from inside my car.
Yeah.
He has seen a video of Sebastian at the fucking house Sunday night taking the fucking trash out.
Right.
From inside my car.
Yeah.
Oh, audio from inside my car. Okay. Well, let me tell you something. If your kid is missing and you weren't there, you would certainly want as much proof of life as possible.
Yeah. So, okay, so you guys got.
Do you see the frustration where we have?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Always about them, him. If he was worried about frustration for Sebastian, you'd want every moment documented properly. Not ballparks, not honor abouts, not ranges.
I do. But it's nice to have like a conversation with you instead of having to get everything, everywhere else. Definitely.
And we went home straight from Texas Roadhouse. And we were home for approximately 15 minutes before he took the trash out. And he
definitely.
Okay, hold on.
And we went home straight from Texas Roadhouse. And we were home for approximately 15 minutes before he took the trash.
And that doesn't work either. You know why? Because I believe it was in one of her most recent interviews, she said, KP says he took the trash out about 8 p.m. They left Texas Roadhouse at about 6:20, let's say 6:25. Okay. At the very most, they were home by about 6:50-ish. We'll give them 30 minutes, but it doesn't take that, right? And she says within about 15 minutes, he took out the trash. So about 7:05 or so. Let's just ballpark that, right? Not 8 p.m. Where's that extra hour? What happened in that extra hour? Why is that not accounted for in grave detail? We have another hour skipped, just like 30 minutes from 6:03 when allegedly the call was made to report him missing, which is inaccurate. Scanner on the dispatch reveals 6:33. So there's times missing, just like now they were home for a while that day. That may be when they, went and visited her friend, her girlfriend, I believe Dara. That's never made it into the narrative. Her friend being in town with her son, E. That's not made it to the narrative. It's very strange. Why wouldn't everything make it to the narrative, but yet we hear about spaghetti pancakes, but not people who you visited or were visiting you? Very strange. But spaghetti pancakes made it there. I just find it very odd. Let's keep going, my friends. At what are the stakes so high that even back months and months and months ago, we're demanding, directing, guiding, enforcing the narrative, but yet demanding, enforcing, directing that you were not there too. No mention of Sebastian bathing on a school night, no mention of laying out clothes, no mention of packing backpacks, none of the above. No mention of homework getting done, nothing. Not even so much as a brushing of teeth, nothing. But we have spaghetti pancakes as a detail.
Okay, approximately 15 minutes before he took the trash out. So we got home, and 15 minutes, he took the trash out. They got home about 7, correct? Was it 6:45 or 7? I thought the niece went with KK to their house after BJ. The niece, she took the niece to a certain place. How's her camera running inside her car? Not pitch dark, not even. AK and Sebastian went to someone's house in afternoon. I thought, exactly. I need to text someone. Have that somewhere.
Of like a conversation.
Got home.
I do. But it's nice to have like a conversation with you instead of having to get everything, everywhere else. Definitely.
And we went home straight from Texas Roadhouse. And we were home for approximately 15 minutes before he took the trash out. And he is on video, and the FBI was able to clear it up and confirm that it's him.
That's very important, because if they can confirm a dark moving object taking out the trash, if Sebastian had gone out that front door, they would have been able to take that dark moving object and clear it up enough to see if it was Sebastian, but no one went out that front door, my friends. 5 dogs, no hits, no scent of Sebastian, nada. Now, I saw someone ask a question. She went to visit her friend, if this is what you're asking, when you say, what, who, Starlito? She went to visit one of her friends, and I believe her name is Dara. I'm going to have to look that up. During the day. Now, I first heard it that she and Sebastian went, but I've also heard it said she, Sebastian, and the niece went. But indeed, she did allegedly go there, and her friend was there when Seth arrived on Monday and was visiting from out of town. So how in the world is your friend in town that morning that your child disappears from out of state? They couldn't have gotten there that quickly. It's like by the time Seth gets there. But never is mentioned in the narrative. Right? And she told her friend Lori, according to a source who told me, because Lori told the source, that KP said the neighbor's footage she saw it that first morning on the 26th caught a silhouette in the window of the home. If you think you're home alone and your child disappears in that night, and footage has caught a silhouette in your front window, wouldn't you be telling the public that in the interview? Someone was in my home? Or Sebastian was in the window, so maybe he was waiting for something? But be talking about it? It's a piece, it's a part, but no. I I find that interesting. Why are we picking and choosing what we share? Every piece is so important in bringing Sebastian home. What are the stakes to leave pieces out? What's at stake that's so important over custody of the child you wanted?
Really?
Even though you can tell it's him from a mile away because of how he runs, it's just, you can tell from it.
Really? Really, KK?
Um,
Uh,
um,
His mannerisms, the second you look at it, it's him running, but still.
okay. So he took the trash about 15 minutes. And that was about what time was that?
Don't know exactly off the top of our head.
It is Girl Mom.
Well, I know.
What time was that? Don't know exactly off the top of our head. He butts right in. He doesn't give KP, who was there, a chance to say, we know 15 minutes after you got home, he took out the trash. What time was that? Because it's always essential, critical to have a timeline. And he butts right in. He who was not there. We don't know an exact time. Make sure he gets that answer in before KP does. Alarming, in my opinion.
You told him to go to bed at about 9, right? And how much? I mean, how much time was between the trash?
Do you see how her voice changed right there? Mm-hmm. Listen to how her voice
He
changed.
runs, it's just, you can tell from his mannerisms, the second you look at it, it's him running, but still.
Okay. So he took the trash about 15 minutes. And that was about what time was that?
Don't know exactly off the top of our head.
Well, I know you.
It's funny how he can say, don't know exactly off the top of our head, but if anyone says you all, he's, oh, no, but don't know exactly off the top of your head. You've watched a video of him going from the trash or taking out the trash. He's missing. As a mother, you would look at the time, remember the time. Because you're telling the repeated events over and over, and they should be repeated unless they're changing, which is what is happening, in my opinion.
Told him to go to bed at about 9, right?
Hear how she says that, distancing.
And how much? I mean, how much time was between the trash and going to bed?
A couple hours.
Why the fuck is he answering this?
Okay. And then you guys were on the phone from about, what, 9 to 12?
Ballpark.
Sure.
You see how deception detective.
So a PI trying to get a timeline says, so you asked him to go to bed about 9 p.m. That was, in my opinion, just let's keep going. But that was, why do we get details like spaghetti pancakes? But something so much more important, the last time you sent your child to bed is a So what was the amount of time between trash and bed? Now listen. Trash, according to one of the most recent interviews, he took out at 8 p.m. Here, she's saying 15 minutes after they got home from the Texas Roadhouse. When asked the time frame between trash and bed, CP butts right in and says, couple hours. So let's just say Katie's telling the truth in this last recent interview where she says 8 p.m. he took out the trash. Then since it's a couple hours before bed, it would have been 10 p.m. Sebastian went to bed. None of it makes sense. It all slides. It all changes.
I'm going to email you completely tightened up
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
words. It's fucking obvious, in my opinion.
Was that FaceTime or just a phone conversation?
It doesn't matter. We were on the phone.
It doesn't matter, Edgar.
But it does matter because if it's FaceTime, he could have seen Sebastian walking behind KP. He could have seen things that had occurred. It would matter. But notice how the vagueness is what matters to him, not providing detail.
It does not matter. Doesn't matter. Oh my God.
Details don't have any.
What, 9 to 12?
Edgar?
It doesn't matter. We were on the phone.
It doesn't matter. Edgar, why does it matter? Why can't you answer the question? You weren't home. You have nothing to do with this. Edgar? Doesn't matter. Oh my God.
Details don't have any.
What, 9 to 12?
Ballpark.
Sure.
Was that FaceTime or just a phone conversation?
So fucking obvious.
It doesn't matter. We were on the phone.
Okay.
Those details don't have any bearing in this.
Okay. If it doesn't, then just answer it. Answer the question.
Heard any of that conversation?
Whether it was a FaceTime, a Zoom call,
The only
whether it was just a
reason,
voice chat.
yeah, the only reason that I am curious about that is just to whether it was possible that he had heard any of that conversation.
No. Once again, our conversations are not where children can hear them.
Well, I mean, it's not like there was anything said that was like,
Would have upset him.
yeah, no, I mean, it's not like we were arguing or anything.
Okay.
I mean, we spend time on the phone daily because we live separately the majority of the time when he's on travel. So we call.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so there's about 9 o'clock you told him to go to bed. You were on the phone from about 9 to 12. It was about 11 p.m. when you heard the noise from his bedroom.
No.
No? That's not right? Hello?
Yeah, we're still here. No. What you said was not right.
Well, can you correct me?
Oh my God.
Somewhere between 9 and 12.
There you have it, my friends. That to me was one of the most shocking things about this PI's interview. So 11 p.m. you heard a noise. So the noise must have been first reported at 11 p.m. We'll have to go back for the PI to be bringing that forth. And CP goes, no. And then there's silence. She's like, hello, hello. They must have been talking with each other. And then he says, the noise was from 9 to 12. Again, taking a range in the timeline, the critical timeline for his missing stepson. Now it's a 3-hour range. And the phone calls ballpark, and sure, when they were determined, it was 3 hours in the beginning from 9 to 12. Then it went from, to be transparent, remember, and it was vetted by all 8 law enforcement agencies and logged. Then to be transparent, it was about 9:44 they got on till about midnight. That was 2 hours, 20 minutes. Then Dateline interview comes out. KP says she went to bed at 11. So now we're at an hour and 20 minutes for the phone call. Oh boy.
There was a
What? 9 and 12. Oh my God. Oh my.
there was a sound heard, and Mom told him, Sebastian, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to bed. He said, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And then nothing until you went to wake him up, right?
No, nothing until she went to wake him up.
And that was about 6 a.m.
So, and tell her
Yes,
what
Irony.
you just said, so that way, for the record, make it clear.
Yeah, but that's how shit gets started.
No, because she said that what I told you about hearing the noise.
What?
So you went to wake him up, right?
No, nothing until she went to wake him up.
And that was about 6 a.m.
So, and tell her what you just said, so that way, for the record, make it clear.
Yeah, but that's how shit gets started.
No, because she said that what I told you about hearing the noise, her saying go to bed, and he said yes, ma'am. Apparently that's wrong. So correct it.
I told him, I don't care what you're doing, knock it off and go to sleep.
Did he answer?
He said, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once again, right back to what I fucking said.
That's how he speaks to his wife. And that's what the judge allegedly will hear regarding relationship between the two of them and what the home environment would be for the child, in my opinion. Something, okay, you all. He says nothing from noise to wake up. He butted it in. I think that's a very important time from noise to wake up, obviously. We know that, in my opinion. But the way he butted in there and nothing from noise to wake up. Okay, that's the time, in my opinion, right there to look at. And I think things started rolling before that, which is why the trash time's changing. Okay, so I think things started rolling earlier. As soon as they start changing times like that, I think we need to include those times possibly in what was going down. So from the time they got home, in my opinion, because those times don't match up with the trash and the time they arrived home and 8 o'clock and 15 minutes, all of that. Let's finish this up. We're almost done. And thank you so much. I'm so glad we reached our goal so we could listen to this as a family, because I think this is very telling. I agree, like Sassy said, it shows directing that narrative, in my opinion. It shows interrupting and taking the narrative down a different path than the person who was there was going to take it. It shows correcting the individual who was there. It shows giving our time frames for the last time a missing child was seen, being vague about a child's life. That timeline, being vague about a timeline, why would you do that? What is so at stake that you have to hide times of the things that led up to the disappearance of Sebastian, in my opinion? Why can't you just lay it straight? Here's what happened. Here's when it happened. Not worry about who says school night, Sunday night. There's something odd, my friends. because he has got to direct that timeline, the way it's said, the way it's presented, and he wasn't even allegedly there, to the point that he will scream on panels, regardless of how that affects his other situation, his custody, in my opinion. Shocking. It's almost over, but thank you so much. I'm so glad we got to do this together. I think it's so important to show the games, the vagueness. There's no wanting to be precise for Sebastian's life. There's no wanting to be forthcoming, in my opinion, for Sebastian's life and well-being.
Okay. Okay. Now my dog's going to want to start barking. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. There was something I was going to ask you. Okay. So I did want to go back to where you had said that you didn't think he ran away and that he ran away. So what do you think?
Neither one of us have an idea.
Yeah.
All we can tell you is, like, that's why I asked you what you exactly know of this case, what Seth has told you makes it easier for us to fill in the blanks.
Oh, is that how it works? No, it's not what Seth told you. Hell no, it's not.
Why wouldn't law enforcement be filling him in on the stuff, on certain things? Remember, he was buddy with them every day back then. So that's interesting, because he says, I'd like to know what Seth tells you so we can fill in the blanks. But KP's the one who was there. Everyone's relying on KP's narrative that he is controlling, that she's changing, and he wants to just have other people tell what they know, so he knows what people know. And obviously he doesn't know what law enforcement knows if he's saying that. And then he'll fill in the blanks. Is this someone concerned for the well-being of Sebastian? I ask you. I want you to form your own opinion. It's terrible. Games from the beginning. The stakes are so high for him. Don't ever say he was there. Don't ever mention his truck being there. But by goodness, you better ask him if you want to know anything that happened that day.
What Seth told you. It's what you. I need a blood pressure bill. I'm telling you. Seth wasn't there to fill in the blanks. He's trying to
Has an idea in his head.
get in. Oh, Lord.
Your client has an idea in his head.
Wonder why.
That is his narrative, and that's what he is painting.
Oh.
So I just need to know what's being said. And I'll fill you in.
The thing is
unbelievable.
Seth, that I
Unfucking
don't
believable.
think he's kind of just back and forth about things, you know?
And see, that's where he's stupid and he's wrong.
Well, he doesn't know. He doesn't know if he was
He's
lured.
stupid.
He doesn't know.
Edgar, he's stupid because he wants to know where his kid is.
And that is where we end it. The fact that he says he's going to fill in the blanks because your client, meaning Seth, has an idea in his head what happened and a narrative. Well, of course, because he wasn't there, he's trying to put things together. And he says he's so stupid and wrong. Well, okay, if he's wrong, correct people. I thought you weren't there, but please correct people, because people are trying to guess, because the person who's there is giving no timeline that's consistent. But that's a shocking statement. He's stupid and wrong, trying to get an idea in his head. And then, so I need to know what's been said. He's getting a stupid idea. It's a dumb narrative in his head. He's wrong. So I need to know what's been said. That is very telling. Doesn't need to provide proper times, doesn't need to provide exact times, doesn't need to provide exact information, but he needs to know what's been said. The stakes are high, I'm telling you, in my opinion. So high that a desire for custody has gone lower, and this behavior has escalated. The stakes are high for him. Is he defending someone? It's just, to me, not in his personality unless they've got something on him, in my opinion. But seriously, law enforcement looks at this. I mean, it's obvious, in my opinion. How much more obvious can you be that someone was trying to mess with the narrative, mess with the events, mess with that day? But my gosh, don't ever say he was there, right? It's shocking. So that is what I think is really important, because I think it shows that when we first met him and heard about this, they didn't want their name out there. It was about them right out of the kick. They didn't want to talk. Law enforcement had to share that with the media about them again, not about what was best for Sebastian, in my opinion. And then all of this game playing and shenanigans has now escalated into threats, screaming publicly, to where he's desperate, he's cracking, and he's left his other plight behind, in my opinion, because it's not as important as the stakes in this search and if we find Sebastian. That is my theory. The stakes are high for him. He is the director of the narrative, but wants us to believe he wasn't there. The knowledge, the man of the database of that day, but wants us to believe he wasn't engaged in that day. The man who knows every sound that we would have heard, everyone would have heard that night, but he wasn't there to hear them. Very odd. The man who's saying the F word to her about how she says things. Why does he care? Because he does. And that's the point. Thank you all so much for being. I've had a great time tonight. I hope you have. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you. I know there's so many places we can all be. You can all be in. The fact that you come spend time with me, I sure appreciate it. These will all go towards his character witness. And if you want my opinion, he doesn't have a chance. So I hope to goodness that if indeed anyone is responsible for this, you know, my feelings that it wasn't for custody, because then people gave that up to defend themselves, in my opinion. Oh, thank you, Ash Mangi. I'm so glad we reviewed this. I meant to go back and listen to it again. I so appreciate you all wanting to spend that extra hour with me. Thank you so much. I think it's important. I think we've covered a lot tonight, showing behavior, attitude, what the courts look for when you're trying to get custody, and it just doesn't weigh out. One thing's way raising above the other in intent, priority, time spent. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. I've enjoyed our evening. We need to bring Sebastian Rogers home. These are the things that are obstructing locating him, because we don't have proper information. Not even everything changes. The time they called. Then in the dateline, she said about 6 a.m. We'd never heard that. She hedged around about when she called Chris. no longer searching this high school. Now she got there, turned around because law enforcement was on their way. The whole thing is a mess, an absolute mess. And that is what is making it so hard to locate Sebastian, in my opinion, because when you have the last person who was there who can't give a straight answer, and then you have someone who wasn't there who's giving all the answers, how do you find a child? But we will find him. Hashtag keep the faith. Thank you all for everything. Have a great rest of your evening. I will see you tomorrow, Sebastian's Army. Keep up the good work. And if you'd be so willing to hit the thumbs up, like the video on your way out, and subscribe if you're not a member, we'd love to have you. Thank you all for everything. And mods, much love. Thank you so much. Talk soon, everyone.